U.S. issues emergency warning in Strait of Hormuz amid tensions with Iran.
Ukraine destroys nearly 6,000 Russian drones. Receives fighter jets from France.
OCOP products gain strong traction during year-end shopping peak.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Hoàng Yến, and here we go, the first headline of the show. The United States had issued an emergency warning advising U.S.-flagged commercial vessels to steer clear of Iranian waters when transiting the Strait of Hormuz, as tensions between Washington and Tehran over Iran's nuclear program continue to escalate.
New guidance released by the U.S. Maritime Administration under the Department of Transportation states that U.S.-flagged vessels should navigate as far away from Iranian territorial waters as possible, provided maritime safety is not compromised. If approached for inspection by Iranian forces, crews are advised to refuse verbally and must not use force if boarded. The Strait of Hormuz is a strategic shipping route for Middle Eastern oil supplies and has repeatedly been threatened with closure by Iran, with past incidents involving the seizure of commercial and oil tankers on smuggling allegations. The warning comes as Iran-US nuclear talks, mediated by Oman, were described by Tehran as having a good start. However, Washington remains intent on expanding the scope of negotiations to include Iran's ballistic missile program, its support for regional armed groups, and human rights issues. U.S. President Donald Trump has also stepped up pressure by signing an executive order imposing a 25% tariff on goods from countries purchasing Iranian products.
He doesn't get booed in this country.
Ukraine claims to have destroyed nearly 6,000 Russian FPV drones in strikes targeting command centers and military depots as France prepares to deliver Mirage 2000 fighter jets to Kiev.
Ukraine's general staff said the attacks were part of a campaign to degrade Russia's combat capabilities. On the night of February 8th and early morning of February 9th, Ukrainian forces struck a Russian airborne troops command post near Sudza in Russia's Kursk region and hit an ammunition depot in Novoaleksivka, Kherson region, under Russian control. A UAV storage facility in Rostov-on-Don was destroyed, damaging about 6,000 FPV drones and multiple components. Russia has yet to comment on these reports. Meanwhile, France has confirmed it is preparing to transfer Mirage 2000 fighter jets to strengthen Ukraine's combat and air defense capabilities. The two countries have also signed agreements on joint weapons production, paving the way for long-term defense industrial cooperation.
Vietnamese Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính had just called on ambassadors and heads of international organizations in Vietnam to promote the spirit of three foundations to strengthen the solidarity, cooperation, and trust between nations.
Speaking at the New Year reception for the diplomatic corps in Vietnam, the Prime Minister thanked international partners for their support and called for promoting unity to build strength, cooperation to build resources, and dialogue to build trust. He noted that 2025 was a major test, yet Vietnam achieved 8.02% growth and met all socio-economic targets. Vietnam continues to pursue an independent and self-reliant foreign policy and aims to remain a reliable partner and responsible member of the international community. The Prime Minister expressed confidence that diplomats would continue to serve as effective bridges, further deepening practical and sustainable cooperation between Vietnam and the world.
Upcoming are some updated news.
The Vietnamese government has instructed relevant agencies to urgently pilot and put into operation trading floors for crypto assets, gold, and real estate by February 28, 2026, ensuring safety, openness, and transparency. It stressed that the rollout of digital asset exchanges must be carried out in a controlled manner, in line with international practices and macroeconomic stability. At the same time, the government directed the early establishment and synchronized operation of the gold market to enhance transparency and curb speculation. manipulation and systemic risks. Measures to develop the real estate market in a safe and sustainable manner will continue to be strengthened, with a focus on improving the effectiveness of the National Housing Fund and expanding the supply of social housing to help stabilize the market and meet public housing needs.
The People's Committee of Nghệ An Province has issued its economic growth scenario for 2026, setting a GRDP growth target of 10.5 to 11.5%, with industry and construction identified as the key driving forces. Under the plan, GRDP growth is expected to increase gradually throughout the year, with the first quarter projected to grow by 7.94 to 8.86%. The second quarter by 9.11 to 10.12%. Growth is forecast to accelerate in the second half, with the third quarter reaching 11.62 to 12.53% and the fourth quarter surging to 12.68 to 13.81%. The industrial sector alone is expected to grow by 16.5 to 17.93%, serving as the main engine of provincial economic expansion.
Vietnam has been named one of the world's top 10 most livable countries for retirees for the first time, according to a ranking released by France-based platform Retirement Without Borders. The assessment based on 12 criteria, with cost of living carrying the greatest weight, alongside climate, healthcare quality, safety, and overall living conditions. Vietnam ranked 9, thanks to its low living costs, diverse living environment, and steadily improving healthcare system and urban infrastructure. Although living expenses remain slightly higher than in some other Asian destinations, Vietnam is regarded as a balanced choice offering affordability, quality of life, and long-term development potential for retirees.
In the days leading up to Lunar New Year of 2026, consumer shopping demand has risen sharply, making the commodity market more vibrant. In Nghệ An, one meal, one product, or OCOP items have become a top choice for consumers during this year-end busy season. More in the story today.
In Kua Lo Ward, this traditional fish sauce production facility is working around the clock to meet TED demand. Originating from a family fish sauce making tradition, the product is now a certified 3-star OCOP product and well known among consumers.
Năm hết Tết đến là mua nhiều để biếu bà con anh em.
I'm buying this as a gift for relatives and friends for TED. This fish sauce is high quality, delicious, and clean and reliable. OCOP retail outlets and product showcase points across the province also witness much higher number of customers coming for buy product. One showroom currently displays nearly 500 items from 60 businesses and production facilities.
Ở đây thì cùng các cái hàng hóa mình cũng thấy cảm thấy là chất lượng.
I stop by occasionally to buy things for my family. The goods here are high quality, safe, and trustworthy.
To date, Nghệ An has nearly 800 OCOP products that have been evaluated and classified under a rigorous process. Businesses noted that centralized displays and clear labeling have helped these local brands reach more consumers during the year-end shopping peak.
Sau ngày khai trương của cửa hàng thì cái lượt
The
bán
number
ra
of customers buying OCOP products is much higher than before. Since the store's opening, sales have spiked because the brand has become well recognized.
The market trends ahead of Lunar New Year show that the success of Nghệ An's OCOP product stems from both quality and supportive policies. Continued trade support mechanisms and promotion are expected to help OCOP products maintain steady growth and meet long-term consumer demand.
The last story descended our news today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye for now.